What you saying, YouTube? Today I'm relocating the Power Steering Reservoir on my Fiesta ST 150. Now, the reason you want to get a relocation kit for the power steering fluid is that it sits here and the fluid is pumped around beside the engine, and what that does is basically cooks the fluid. Now, a common issue with these is on track they will boil over and actually spit all over the engine bay, and you know what I mean, you have to replace the fluid each time. It's not good getting all that fluid all over your parts, but also it's not good for the pump because you're just putting really bad cooked oil through the pump, and it can cause problems there. So I'll quickly show you on mine the state of the fluid. So this fluid should be red. Let's put that there. So that's the condition of the fluid, and I'll show you what the condition of some brand new fluid looks like. I think you can clearly see the difference there. Yeah, basically it cooks the fluid because it's so close to the engine. The answer to this is to relocate the reservoir somewhere out of the way so that the lines don't run beside the engine, so they have a chance to cool down and not just be constantly toasted by the heat coming off the engine. Now, what you can do for that, you can buy a power steering reservoir relocation kit, and what it does, it allows you to run the lines all the way over, basically off of the mount of the battery, of the plastic tray. So what that does is allows time for the fluid to actually cool before it gets pumped back into the pump, therefore not cooking it, not destroying the pump, and overall improving your steering. You can make up these kits yourself. You will save a bit of money, but I didn't. I bought my kit online. It was around £110. They give you 2 hoses, all of the fittings needed, an adapter plate that goes on the actual pump, a new reservoir, which has a mounting bracket that can go onto the battery, and yeah, that's basically it. But there are a few little things you need to do in the engine bay to make this work. What you'll need to get this job done is an empty bottle you can put some fluid in, up to 1 litre. This is a 5 litre. You'll only normally need 1 bottle of new power steering fluid, but I'm going with 2 because I want to flush the system, just to make sure all of the old stuff's out there and the pump's kind of refreshed with new fluid. You'll need some paper towels or a few rags to kind of clear up the mess you're going to make, because as soon as you take the pipes off, it will start to pump out. You're going to need a drill, which is in there, and a fair few tools, and obviously a coffee. How a lot of people mount these is off the side of the battery here. I'm going to go with the same setup, so it's literally just off the far side of the battery, behind the wiper fluid. And what I'm going to check for, which there should be, is that there's just enough clearance for the bonnet to come down, just to make sure. Right, we've got no issues with clearance. Also, check out my new bad boy light. I was thinking the other day when I was under the car with my phone, trying to find a random connector when I was doing the intake manifold, I need to get some kind of light, so I bought a head torch. It's like 1,500 lumen for £12. It helps so much whilst you're working on the cars. Also, little Black Friday deal I got myself. If I can open it, there you go. I went and got myself the Halfords Advanced toolkit, which has got everything I need and would have saved me a lot of time on the other mods I've done. Gone down there and I've marked with a Sharpie just there the 2 dots where these 2 bolts are going to be mounting onto the cover for the the tray for the battery. So what we need to do now is take the battery out, remove the tray, and drill holes for the mount for this. Now I'm just going to drill through 2 markers that I made for the mounting bracket. Now I'm going to test fit to see that they are the right size. I used a 5mm drill bit to get through this. I think, yep, just about the right size. They are a bit tight, so I'm going to just wiggle the drill bit around there just to give it a little bit more of a bigger diameter. So that will then be mounted like so. Now it's a simple job of getting the battery back in there. We'll get the tray in, put the battery in, then we're on to the next step. After that, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to raise the car. So I've got my stands raised both sides, so both front wheels are off the floor. This is so that when we drain the fluid out of the reservoir and out of the pump, it's not going to put any additional stress on the pump, and the wheels should move a bit more freely. Next part, you want to grab your empty bowl, and my plan is to take off this hose, and you want to have some wipes ready. So take off this hose and get some wipes around it and stick it into this bottle here, and you'll need someone to turn the wheel. So you can try and do this on your own, but if you have a friend it's a lot easier. I'm going to grab someone, but yeah, put that in there, start turning the wheel, usually twice, so like left to right, well, wait, sorry, yeah, twice, right to left, should get all the fluid out. Now at this point I'm going to refill the fluid so that there's still no air in the system, but I'm going to refill it until the fresh fluid's coming out, just so I know all of the nasty cooked fluids out of the system, out of the pump, and that should fill up with all of the nasty stuff and then a bit of the new stuff, and then I know that it's good to change over. Right, when I tell you to, yeah, let me quickly, I'm just setting up. Right, turn the wheel. Anyway, just full lock. And the other way. And again.
The other way?
Yeah. And again. There's an empty reservoir, a pump that's been fully refreshed with new fluid, and all of the old fluid and a bit of a mixture of the new fluid here to dispose of and recycle. So there's 3 bolts holding this in. We need to take this out. There's one here, and there's 2 here. So one second, one there if you can see it. You can't really see it too well. One this side and one this side. We need to unscrew all of them. Then the reservoir, you'll pull it forward and it will come out. You're going to want to have a rag ready for when you pull this out, because any of the fluid that's left on the pump, will have a tendency to come out. There you go. See, a little bit of mess. You can see the fluid that has come out is a lot better, so you can tell that the flush has worked. So there's an O-ring that comes out of this part just here. It's this here. You won't be using it. Sorry, you can't see. You won't be using it because we've got this one. This adapter with the 2 bolts now fits on here like so. Let me get the camera on, I'll show you a bit better. Not that. Yeah. This adapter on there like so. And then literally them 2 bolts that you receive in the adapter, they bolt on there. All installed. So yeah, literally just them 2 screws, or the bolts sorry I should say, and bolt it on nice and snug. Now we need to remove, if you can see down there, but on the end of this there's another clamp, sorry. So I need to remove that and remove this totally.
I like to get deep sometimes and think about Einstein and Carl Jung and old kung fu movies I like to see. That's the hydro.
So that clamp was kind of hard to remove. It was on with one of them clamps that you have to cut to get off, one of these ones. So I literally got a pair of snips, excuse me, cut that end off, and then both hands pulled it off. If you can see there, that there is where that just come from, and this is where the first thinner hose is going to connect to. So what you want to do is put the Jubilee clip on the end of here, and then attach that on there and tighten up the clip. Once the hose is on there, you're going to want to tighten up the Jubilee, and then yeah, we've got the first hose on there, and it's going to make the engine bay look a lot nicer now because we've got some new nice red hoses. There we are, all nice and butted up. Now we need to tighten up the Jubilee, and then we're going to install the new reservoir. Now my plan is to install these two on here before mounting this to the battery tray, only because I feel like I'll have a lot easier chance just doing these bolts up than trying to get these two hoses on underneath the battery. So I just realised that's a stupid idea. What I'm going to do, I'm going to install this first because we have to route the pipes underneath here. So yeah, recommend installing this first, then we can route the pipes up afterwards. So now we're going to mount the reservoir to the battery. Just realised something again. This isn't that good of a guide. Cool, I'm going to have to take the battery out to be able to put the bolts in. This is my first time doing it as well, but yeah, okay, scrap that. We'll take the battery out, we'll install this, then we'll put the battery back in. I'll get back to you when I've done all that. There we go, the battery's out again. So we're going to mount this. There we go, it's all mounted on there. It's not going anywhere. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to take out the headlight so I have access to all of that area, so when I tighten up the clamps, when I tighten up the Jubilees on the end of the hoses, it's not too difficult to do. Right, the headlight's off. I'm going to route the larger one up through here and then connect it. And the shorter one, I'm going to route all around the back. I'll time lapse it. You can see it's starting to get dark, so you can really see how useful the torch is. It's literally only 3:30 in the evening, but you know what it's like working on your car in the winter. It's no good. So I've got one line running from there, tucked it under here, and you can see where it runs through there, up there into there, and the other line straight from there around by the intake and up there. You can see how much more access I had just by taking the light out. That would have been pretty much impossible if I didn't take the light out. Yeah, it literally took me 5 minutes. But now everything's installed, we're ready to fill it up with fluid. Now, some of these, even though you get it as a kit, you're supposed to cut the lengths off. I wanted to run it the extra because it'll have more time to cool. I think that's a better system, as if it can cool more, it's going to last longer. It's not going to be doing what the old fluid did. So I've not cut the lengths, I've ran them a little bit further out than you probably should round here, but that's what I wanted to do, so that's what I've done. Right, now I'm going to replace the battery, fill up the system, and then I'll show you the next steps in the process. Right, everything's back on. Now is the slightly tricky bit. Just have to be a bit careful, but what we need to do, you fill up the power steering reservoir to max and you turn the car on for around 5 seconds, and then turn it off. That will cause, well, the pump will then pump fluid around the system. Then again, you fill it up to max, pump the system again, fill it up to max, pump the system again until it stays at max. Then the system should be full. You want to then get into the car, turn the wheel left, sorry, then right 3 times, and then if there's no movement from the power steering reservoir, it's still on the max. That is, it should all be correct. Then you want to check for leaks. So I'm going to go up and fill the reservoir now. It should take about 1 litre. Right, that is at max now. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go and start the car. The system dropped to the minimum line, so that was perfect. We know that we need to top it up, and we know that it didn't run dry. So I'm going to top it up, and we're going to go and start the engine again quickly. So I don't know if you can see there, you should be able to. That's staying at the max level. Max level is just around that side. I've tried it and I started on for 10 seconds for the last one and it didn't drop at all. So now it's time to move on to turning the steering wheel left and right. So I'm going to do that now. Again, it's left, then right, 3 times, and that shouldn't drop at all. But if it does, top it up and repeat. So it has shifted a little bit. It's gone down to the minimum mark. I'm going to top up and repeat. There's no more movement in the levels, so that's all correct. The whole system's filled up. I've checked for leaks. There's a little bit of not leakage. It was from when we pulled it out before, but I've checked all around. You want to check for leaks. There aren't any leaks that I can see. Yeah, so we've successfully changed the whole system and relocated the power steering. Now it's the fun bit. We get to take it out for a drive. So let me quickly pull it out, and I'll well, we've got to take the jack stands down, pull it out to drive, and then yeah, go for a ride. Take the car out for a drive, see if there's any improvements on the steering or the feel, see if that kind of the whine it used to have was there, is still there. If you leave your car started for a while in one place, you'll see any leaks underneath it. So what I would suggest, what I've done, if you can't see any leaks from any of the connections, then leave your car running in one place for about 5 minutes, see if there's any leaks underneath. If there's no leaks underneath, you're safe to drive. I'll catch you in a bit and I'll let you know how it is in a minute. I've driven the car around for about 10 minutes and it feels a lot better. It's a lot more responsive. That whining noise has gone. It feels just a lot more better. When you're steering, there's a lot more kind of feel. It's a lot kind of smoother. I'd really recommend doing it. I'll quickly put up a clip before of how whiny my pump was. And I'll quickly record now this one. So yeah, like nothing. And also it's good knowing that the fluid can actually cool down now it's got the longer runs and it's not beside the engine. You can install a cooler. It's something that I'm not going to do because I don't track this car, it's my daily, so I don't see the need for to keep the fluid that cool, because I'm not absolutely ragging the shit out of the car all the time. Thank you for watching. Good luck if you're attempting this. It isn't particularly difficult. An amateur could do this. If you liked it, maybe give me a subscribe. Give me a thumbs up if it helped you. Yeah, good luck, and I'll catch you next time.